Welcome back to an episode of Let's Build Twitter. As always, if you guys do want access to the private repository, all you gotta do is go to the video description and click on the link to the video that walks you through that. And if you want to watch me tinker and work on this application live, my live stream schedule is also linked below. So let's hop into what we work on today. In this episode, we add a new async thunk to our PostSlice to allow ourselves to send the post request to upload a new post with media, then modify the FeedPostCreator component to be able to tell the difference between a post with media and one without to successfully send the post with media to the backend. As always, I'm Ethan Encoder, and let's hop straight to development. Alrighty, y'all, welcome back. So unfortunately, this episode is going to be a little bit shorter, but that's just because we don't have as much to do. I don't really want to smush together stuff that's not really going to be related. So all we have left to do is actually make it so whenever we click post, it sends the post with media and we're good to go. So let's go ahead and hop back into our code. So now what we need to go ahead and do is we need to clean some things up. So let's go ahead and just close out of everything, and I'll open up what we need as we get going here. So the first thing we need to do is we actually need to make the request. So let's go ahead and go into our slices. So slices and PostSlice. And what we're going to need to do is we need to go ahead and make an async thunk. So below our create post, we'll go ahead and say export const create, if I could type, my goodness, create post with media equal to create async thunk, and then we'll do our async thunk stuff in here. So this will be post slash create, if I could type, create dash media, and below here we'll have our async and body. The body will be create post with media, and we'll create this in a little bit, and thunk API. So let's go ahead and create this create post with media. So up here above the create post body, we're going to say interface. And this is going to say, and this should be create, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit here. This should be create post with media body. And here, what we're going to say is create post, like a type, with media body. And this is going to extend our create post body, and it's going to have an images, which is a file array. So we're going to add that on. And now what we'll go ahead and do is we'll come down into our async thunk, and we're going to set everything up. So we're going to say try and catch. We'll catch an exception E or an error E, and we'll go ahead, and all we're going to do is just going to say thunk API dot reject with value and pass in E. Otherwise, inside here, let's go ahead and set this up. So we're going to say const images is equal to body.images. We're going to say let data is equal to a new form data. And this is going to be something that we have to set up. I believe we need to install something. So let me check one moment to see what this is called. We need to go ahead and install form-data. So let's go ahead and open this. We're going to make a new bash terminal. And I'm going to say npmi form-data. Let's go ahead and import that. I don't think we need anything else. If we do, I'll circle back, and that should be fine. Close out of this, and then we should be able to import form data from form data. So let's come back up here. We're going to go ahead and let me double check where this comes from. So yes, we should just be able to say import form data from form-data and save that. Cool. So just a couple things we need. So the reason that we need this is because we send the post as a string, and then we send the data kind of like separately. So it's a little bit different. So we're going to say let post, like a type, let post equal to, and this is going to say content, which will be body.content, not .replace, just body.content. We're going to have an author, which is body.author. We're going to have replies, which is body.replies. We'll have a scheduled, which will be body.scheduled. We will have a scheduled date, we body.scheduled date. We'll have an audience, if I could type, which is body.audience. And finally, we'll have a reply restriction. can't type today, which is body.reply restriction. So there is the post that we're sending. We're going to say data.append. We're going to append post. So post, and this is going to be json.stringify post. So we're going to send the post as a string in the form data. We're going to say images.for each. For each image, we're going to take the image and we're going to go ahead and say data.append, and then we're going to append media and the image. So this will put all of the images inside of our basically our post request, and then we're going to say let config equal to an object, and I did not mean to go page up, and the method will be of type post. Our URL is of type http //localhost://post/media. And then we need our headers. So we're going to set up a couple headers. First, we have authorization. So authorization will say bearer $body.token. So we're going to get the token from the body. We also need our content dash type, and content type will be multi-part / form data. So this is something that we do need to set up. And then finally, we need to pass the data. So we're just going to say data here. That should be perfectly legal. And now what we can go ahead and do is we can say let res equal to await Axios, and we're going to pass in the config like so. And then once we get that data, we'll return res.data. So again, we had to do a little bit of work here, but this is going to set up the post request for us and send all of the data. So now we need to go ahead and set up our builder.add cases. So we come down in here for our pending, we'll say builder.add case, and then this will be create post with media.pending. This will take in the state and the action and be an arrow function. So we'll just say state equal to state, state. And this is just going to say loading equal to true. And then what we'll do is return the state. So that one, nothing crazy. We'll go ahead and say builder.add case, and this will be create post with media.fulfilled, take in our state and our action. And now what we'll go ahead and do is we'll go ahead and say let post equal to action.payload. So we're going to get the post out of the async thunk. We'll say state equal to state. And then we're going to say post or equal to post. Actually you want to say post and then state.post. So we're going to go ahead and put the current post on the front of the list. Loading will now be set to false. We will have error set to false. We want to set the current post to undefined. We're also going to set the current post images to an empty array, and then we will go ahead and return the state. We'll check in on all of this whenever we make a request. And finally, builder.add case, and then we'll go ahead and say create post with media.rejected. So whenever it's rejected, our state and our action, we will go ahead and just say state is equal to state, and we'll say error is equal to true. And from here, we'll also go ahead and return state. And that should be good to go on that one. So now that our thunk is set up, we actually use this thunk inside of our FeedPostCreator. So to do this, let's go ahead and hop into FeedPostCreator. So we're going to go ahead and just modify our submit post. So we're going to still have this. We're going to wrap this submit post in another if statement. We're going to say if state.post.current post images length is equal to 0. Then we're going to do the current thing. So we'll just have this and copy it and paste that. And then otherwise, we're going to say let body equal to the content will be state.post.current.post.content. And there's probably a better way to do this, but state.post.currentPost, and then this is .author. For now, our replies will be an empty array. We can fix that later. Scheduled will be state.post.currentPost.scheduled. Then our scheduled date will be state.post.currentPost.scheduled date. Scheduled date, which is optional, we'll have an audience. So audience will be state.post.currentPost. The audience will have a reply restriction. At least we should have a reply restriction. That should be fine. I'm guessing it's just being a pain. Yeah, okay. So state.post.currentPost. I love that. Dot, and then this will be reply restriction. And then we're also going to have token is equal to state.user.token. And our images will be state.post. If I could do this right. Current post images. So then we'll have our images, and then what we want to go ahead and do is go ahead and dispatch. We will dispatch our create post with media. Go ahead and import that, pass in the body, and then once that is dispatched, we'll go ahead and set this to false. We should also go ahead and set the post content to an empty array. Then we'll also go ahead, and this doesn't do anything. I swore it used to, but it doesn't seem to be working anymore, so that's not great, but it is what it is. But basically this will submit the post, whether it is a regular post or a post with media. There's going to be some more stuff we have to do this, because whenever we select a GIF by itself, we're going to also have to kind of append we have to append, I can't think of what it's called, but the GIF isn't going to be a file. It's just going to be a link, basically. So we'll have to deal with that. But let me go ahead and open up the backend real quick. It looks like we have an error. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I'm just going to ignore it. Let's go ahead and go and delete our images. So if we go into image, let's go and delete this just to make sure that whenever we send a post, it is a new image. So let's go ahead and delete that. Okay. And if we refresh, you can see there's nothing in image. Let's go ahead and go onto our front end. So say hello. Look at this cool post with an image, and then let me go ahead and grab an image. So we'll go ahead and grab my logo. Okay, we have our cool image. If we hit post, let's open up the network. So hopefully, I don't think that it prints anything, but we send a post 401. Interesting. Let's see what happened there. So unauthorized. Why is that? I think that we sent everything we were supposed to. We got fulfilled. We got create media fulfilled. So I'm not sure why we got unauthorized. There's no error in here. Let's refresh this. Okay, it definitely did not send the image. I don't think the image is too big. Interesting. Everything should be set up. I believe we're running the correct... Yes, we're running the correct backend. So let me do a little bit of digging here. So we got invalid token, bearer token is malformed. Interesting. Let's double check the token. So it has to do with our PostSlice. Bear, I think authorization is spelled right. Let's double check that. Authorization is fine. I believe bear is fine. Let's double check this. Something changed there. Maybe I spelled something incorrectly. Let's go ahead and try again. So let's try to make another post with an image. Also, I remember that there is a small issue with images being too large, so we might need to look into as well. But let's go ahead and open this, and let's open up our console, and let's try again. So let's go ahead and post. There we go. Didn't get a 400, so I typoed a little bit. So let's come in here. If we refresh, now we have our post, and this is working. And also, I didn't refresh this, so if I go into our Redux, let me open up Redux DevTools, and it's better to do it this way. We'll open in a panel, and we'll make it a little bit bigger. I know it's a little bit small, but if we go into post and go into posts, our current post is right there. everything's good. Again, things are probably a little bit wonky, but everything's working. So that is good to go. Like I said, this is going to be kind of like the only thing we work on today, just because it's the most important part and I don't want to add on any random other things. In the next video, we'll go ahead and start working on this GIF icon, which will basically pop up a modal and allow us to select a GIF from Giphy and put it on the screen. So see you on the next one. Unfortunately, that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed, please stick around for the next episode by hitting that subscribe button. You'll know exactly when it comes out, especially with that bell icon. If you did enjoy the content today, please sure to leave a thumbs up. If you did enjoy it, leave a thumbs down. Either way, it helps out with the algorithm all the same. And finally, if you have any suggestions or feedback for me, make sure you leave a comment down below. With that being said, I appreciate you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.